ho, and welcome back to PowerHouse Fence Show. Donnie, what was I supposed to say? Donnie told me to say something. I can't remember. Oh, he wanted me to say action. Is this the camera?
Oh, yeah.
I never know where the dang camera is. Welcome back, everybody. Zach Shue.
Action.
Zaction. Welcome back, Zach Shue, other host, Dan Turbyville, host. This is
Hello.
PowerHouse Fence Show. We talk about a variety of things pertaining to the commercial fence industry, which are kind of cross-applicable to other construction industries. We talk about insurance and banking and management.
Some fence.
We want to talk about things like that, the ins and outs of that, processes. We haven't really talked a whole lot about fence, really. We talked about mostly the business side.
I know.
I think when we get
it's like we keep trying to get there, but then you okay?
I'm trying to do other things apparently.
All these things keep coming up.
So this show is brought to you by Dan Turbyville. We tried to pretend
Dan's wallet.
Right. We try to pretend like there's other stuff going on. Truth be told, Dan's just footing the bill because we think this is fun.
It's cool. Hopefully someone out there likes it.
We think it's fun. I have grown a lot in my career by way of things like this. Two guys or a guy who has been willing to share their experience in the trade and industry, especially transitioning from, a labor hourly position to a position of management. Is that too much?
I think Donnie's so nervous.
I'm foreshadowing. That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
You hear me? I'm leading it in. So we got a guest today who
hold on. Who are we presented by?
Your wallet.
Don't forget the sponsors.
Oh, Memphis Fence Company, MFG, which is Memphis Fence Company Manufacturing, and Simpalo. Yeah.
All right.
That's the new call phrase for Simpalo. How'd I do, Ilaria?
Slay.
Thank you, dear.
We are live, so there's a phone number. As usual, 901-878-4987. And hopefully it's going to work if you call.
The 901-878-4987.
There we go.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think
you like
so.
my radio voice?
Yeah.
I used to, the first few episodes, I was like in radio voice mode the whole time. Zachary Shue with Memphis Fence Company.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what happened.
I said, we're live. Call in if you're lonely.
Call in if you're lonely.
All right. We already talked about the phone
number. Eating
number.
A peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
So I will be attending Tony Thornton's Fence Business Conference 2023, and it's at the Shangri-La in.
I like how you said this is you just said I will be attending.
I will be attending.
That's it?
Yeah.
And so this is a really cruel way to tell me.
Yeah.
On camera.
I had to break it to you, so you can't be a jerk.
It was supposed to be like I have to like maintain a composure. I can't go. This was supposed to be my birthday present.
So Zach needs a birthday present because I suck at life.
I don't know what to do now. I don't know if I can continue the show.
All right. Well, while he's doing that, so there's a lot of, it's a 3-day deal, a lot of forums, a lot of information. Yeah. The No Dig Fence Forum. It's a big thing now. Why are you thumbs down at it? Everyone can see you.
That was like I did the old make your thumb disappear trick.
Anyway, check it out. Fence Consulting Group. You can find it on social medias. But it's going to be a good time. Is that it? Okay. So I would like, I know, anyone out there, if you have some topics you want us to talk about, let us know. Or if you have a guest that you would like to see on the show.
Ooh, that's even better.
Yeah. Yeah. We need some guests.
Does it matter who?
Not really.
So, yeah, that's cool.
We're pretty open. So anybody you want to, if you've never
been
on a podcast,
I ask you and you tell me we are open. I'm like, oh yeah, right. We are. You're right. That's right. I'm open too. I also agree with that statement.
We got our first comment.
Uh-oh.
Ryan said, I want to come on.
Who is it?
Come on.
Oh yeah, Brian.
Brian,
yeah, man.
what's
We
up?
want you on the show.
Yeah, for sure.
He can be our next guest.
All right. That sounds good.
Ilaria will reach out and make that happen, right? Ilaria.
See,
Yeah. Can you say it one time?
say what?
Your name?
Ilaria.
I'm never gonna get that right. I'm sorry. I try, but
It's okay. I appreciate the effort.
I'm just not gonna get it. All right. So cool. Now we got another guest.
Can I name the shows? Can we do that? You've named some. Like we had the Cash is King.
This is what does Donnie do?
What does Donnie do?
Hopefully by the end of the show, I'll even know.
right.
Good one, Zinger. I like it. There he is. This is Donnie.
There's
by
Donnie.
The way.
There's Donnie.
So you gonna introduce?
No, we have to learn Italian first.
Sheesh.
I have a list. We have to go in order. It's gonna freak me out.
Yeah, I chugged the Starbucks. Just to if I'm honest, I chugged the espresso.
All right, here's our Italian. Wholesale. Oh, she doesn't even know.
That's a hard one. It's 3 words.
How? It's one.
No.
In English, it's
Italian.
one.
Yeah, in English, it's one.
All right, lay it
So-
on us.
Vendita all'ingrosso.
Vendita all'ingrosso.
He did the best
Boom.
ever.
You did good.
Boom.
I'm surprised.
He's been practicing all day. You told him earlier.
No.
No, remember, I picked the word so I can look it up.
Oh, duh.
Yeah, what you got? Go for it.
Can I hear it one more time?
Yes. Vendita all'ingrosso.
Vendita all'ingrossa.
Slay. Good job. That's
know I
an A+.
killed it.
Donnie?
That's an A+.
Thank you.
I'm not even going to try.
Come
Knack
on.
to Donnie.
That one's too difficult for me to start off my first time on the show. You throw 3 words at me.
This is my first time on the show. I'm not prepared for Italian today.
Not today.
All right. So old business. We're still working on some software stuff, trying to get all that going with some, I don't know, new system in place. And we don't really have much to talk about it right now, but we will hopefully in the near future. So that's all I got for you on the processes and stuff like that.
yeah, I guess kind of at a standstill for that. I've implemented those new ones in the shop with basically bigger work order packages is what
Yeah.
I've been affording the shop, and mistakes are getting lower. The complaints on
Hey.
having information is pretty much consistent.
We can talk about our commercial bidding process one of these days. We've been working on refining that. I don't really want to get into it just at the beginning of this show.
Right.
But we can spend a little bit of time talking about that if y'all remind me. Because I will not
Internal
remember.
discussion on
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Love it.
Sorry about that.
That's good.
All right. So
No,
you
I'm
already
with
met
it.
Donnie. Donnie
Hello,
Donnie.
everyone.
Donnie McKernan. So a few weeks ago, we had Kenny on. I guess it's probably been a month or 6 weeks or so ago.
Mhm.
We had Kenny on. So Kenny is Donnie's brother. Donnie is Kenny's brother.
That is correct.
So this is
There's
who we
been a-
call not Kenny.
Oh, this just in. We have a discussion here on the forum,
Uh,
and there's some discrepancy as to whether or not Donnie can or cannot do the hokey pokey.
Is this the real thing? Or are you making this up, Zach? Because you know I can't see the laptop.
Donnie, can you put your left arm in?
Or just ultimately differentiate your left from your right. This came from Randy Pennington. by the way.
I can imagine. I believe that is a topic of discussion about how I misinterpret a
Don't-
drawing.
This is wrong. Do not publicly humiliate Donnie. On
Here at Memphis
air.
Fence
Come on.
here at Memphis Fence Company, when an employee makes a mistake, we like to publicly embarrass them.
Yeah, we bring him on our show in front of the nation.
That's not the purpose, Donnie. I just
No.
had to do it. It was Randy requested, and when Randy asks, I do mostly.
So what happened? Some gates got built backwards. It's not the end of the world.
The-
We're
I
gonna
don't-
use them somewhere, but we do have. Hey, if anybody needs some cantilever gates,
I
what
don't-
size are they?
It's a 24-foot opening, 7-foot overall, and a 20-foot opening, 7-foot overall.
Yeah, we got some sitting here ready to go. So let us know.
cool. You don't know that I built one of the aluminum gates backwards
That's right. I haven't told you.
in the same week.
So you built 2 cantilever gates. Zach built a 50-foot long ornamental aluminum gate backwards.
Look how
So-
proud Zach is of what he did.
Yeah. Yeah, that was yeah. So that made me pretty excited when I found that out first thing in the morning, walking in the door.
Yeah, me too, man. That was
Yeah.
my yesterday.
Yeah, me too.
So that was pretty wah, wah. Do you have one of those for me? Because that's how I felt. Yeah. So
Yeah,
it
but-
happens, man. I mean,
That was me Monday, by the way.
So your 2 gates probably cost like a quarter of that gate. So
I would imagine that is correct.
yeah.
yep. So there we go.
So everyone screwed up.
But the best part of the ones that screwed up, they are going to get resold eventually.
Well,
Right.
and we're gonna put the one that Zach built backwards on the job. It's not a big deal. Like the bottom of it is just shifted the wrong way. It's gonna work just fine.
That's a
people.
hard
Don't
mistake
worry.
to describe. I was trying to describe
Yeah.
it to someone how that mistake went to a person who doesn't work in the fabrication world, and I was like,
Yeah, the bottom piece of tube is just shifted the wrong way a little. It's okay. It's gonna work fine. We promise. All right, so let's talk about Donnie. This is what we're here for. So, Donnie, when did you start working at Memphis?
I love
Sense
Donnie.
There's a lot of love in this room.
You
I
okay?
really like Donnie. I
Yeah.
gotta say, I love Donnie as an addition to the office. It's such a weird journey, like having come in and started as Donnie's boss and then now being kind of a coworker, teammate, and the whole dynamic has shifted. And I like this so much better. And this may qualify as a black swan. That pivot. Donnie works in the office. Like, oh, what in the heck? We pulled out this random.
That's the black swan for you.
Yeah, that's the wild card. The thing that I wasn't expecting. We're like, who are we going to get to do wholesale? And what are we going to do in this office about wholesale and that type of thing? And then all of a sudden it was like, let's just move.
So kind of what happened, Donnie, well, I don't even want to, we're going to ruin the story.
Okay, Donnie's going to tell his own story.
Yeah, let's tell the story. So when did you start here, Donnie? Calm down, Zach.
July 6th, 2020.
Getting you decaf next time.
I started out July 6th, 2020. I was originally hired to be the yard helper.
Mm.
And that lasted a few months. I started to get familiar with the job, pulling orders, filling gates, trying to keep the yard clean. And one day, Dan tapped me on the shoulder and said, I want to offer you a new position. Come with me. So we walked across the street.
Did I offer you a new position or just
I
say
can't-
you have a new position?
Right, that's
Come
I
right.
with
believe
me?
there was an official
home.
there was an official conversation, and then it was follow me.
Okay.
And he took me over
Do
to
you
the
accept that? Well, that we just don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Right. Do you accept this nomination?
That's really just an informality. Is that a word?
right
It is for this purpose.
for this
Okay.
purpose. Yeah.
We just make up words on
Yeah.
here,
That's right.
And it was a brief conversation. And like I said, we walked across the street to the paint booth, and he walked me through the process of how he wants me to paint, how to briefly maintain the equipment, how to turn it on, and
paint this by Friday.
Yeah.
well,
and
actually,
then-
there was a demo.
10 minutes later, here, paint this by Friday.
There was a demo. There was actually 2 demos. The first demo, I obviously didn't pay attention because the very next day when Dan came in to look at what I had done, he said, if the customer complains, you're going to go out in the field and fix this.
So you're saying
That
paint
was my
booth-
first. It was a steel frame gate
So that was your first feedback.
from the boss.
All right.
Then there was a second demo, and we were off and running pretty much after that. There was a lot of touch and
And-
go. There was a lot of trial and error. There was a lot of phone calls to the office about, am I mixing the paint correctly? It's not
So
coming out
when
right.
you're saying paint booth, you literally were using paint.
Yes,
You were painting.
it started off in the paint booth.
Wet
Oh,
paint.
okay. All
Yep.
right. Wet paint.
Wet. He got that wet paint going.
Some
Watch
Few
out,
weeks-
kid. Wet paint.
a few weeks prior to the offer, though, Dan was staying late every night in the paint booth doing it himself.
Yeah.
And it's
No wonder.
Yeah, right.
It was 7
Hold on.
p.m. and I saw Donnie over there.
Donnie's here. Hey, you have a new
Any-
job. Come here.
Any person is available to me. Get in here now.
so the
Yeah.
world kind of changed then because it was a whole new element. There was a whole new, there was a shop foreman now that was in the shop building everything. He had a helper or 2,
Yeah.
and it was learn how to pressure wash the correct way, how to stack the panels correctly. It was a whole new world. It was still working in the fence industry, but it was a completely different job.
Right. Yeah, but you still helped with the other things that you had already learned. So, like, don't be dismissive of that.
No, I did, but that was initially it took time to get fast enough to where I had time to do the other things to help out with my previous job.
That thing we needed by Friday, it was a post.
Just to inform our audience, if you get a job job offer, whatever that is that Donnie described, it doesn't mean you get to stop doing your old job.
That's right. You just got a second job.
I got that job once. So I went from fabricator to installer, and little did I know that meant doing both.
Yeah. All right. So you're doing the wet paint.
Wet paint.
And kind of filling in
Wet paint.
Unloading trucks, filling customers, stuff like that as needed.
And
then from there, what happened?
Around
You
the
okay, man?
I'm just laughing at him. Wet paint, as needed. It's funny. I mean, that's funny to me.
Trying to loosen up.
Yeah, you're doing good, man.
He's mirroring.
Like
He's been reading the book.
So sometime I want to say it was around the middle of November because it was prior to Thanksgiving. I had volunteered to stay late to work on a project that needed to be installed the next day. And here comes Mr. Dan again with a tap on the shoulder. Follow me, Donnie. So then we walked down the street to the powder coating booth, which was finally ready to be used.
So let me pause you for 1 second. So this powder coat booth. So we had this thing for like 2 years.
Oh, here we go.
And couldn't use it because some code enforcement people decided to be quite difficult about it.
Quite difficult.
Yep.
And the best part is the company that we used to build everything wouldn't lift a finger to help you.
I called and asked them a question about putting a sensor in there, and they said, we can't answer any code related questions. I was like, what? It's not code related. I just want to know, can I drill a hole right here? That's a code related question. We can't help you with that. So they were pretty useless, but 2 years later, we finally could powder coat. So that's kind of how the building, the system, everything was just sitting there doing nothing. So carry on, Donnie.
So I get the tap on the shoulder again, walk down the street, and it was time to learn how to powder coat. And the explanation went, and I'm paraphrasing here.
But
remember
not much.
Remember what I told you about how much I know about painting the wet paint? I said, yes, Mr. Dane.
Wet paint.
I know even less about powder coating. Good luck.
Nice.
And I'm not going to move this truck out of your way for 3 years.
And he's been doing it the same ever since.
Right. Nah, man, we were experts by the time you got in there. I had powder coated a cross and 2 gates. That was the extent of our powder coating career experience at Memphis Fence.
All of it
is
the same color.
Invention. Does that apply here to some degree?
Yeah, I think something like that. All right, so you got powder coating. I'm going to shut this door. I have to, let me turn the air up.
Cool. Let's hear more about powder coating. I brought some stuff to you. Did some furniture. Before.
That was another trial and error process. We got some misinformation about a tip that we were supposed to use.
Metallic gray crap. Oh, Zach.
Yeah, they wanted you to use the Venturi tip or something.
They wanted us to use a tip that was actually meant for sheet metal, flat sheet metal. So there was a lot of trial and error, making settings with the guns, sorry. And we finally got it, but it probably had about 5 or 6 layers of powder coat by the time Zach came to pick it up.
Nice.
Yeah. Actually, I think you came and picked it up like the 3rd time.
Right.
It was a rough experience.
Yes,
but
very
hey,
rough.
We learned metallic powder coating is a pain in the butt.
That's right.
It's like a whole different
very
thing.
Shortly after that, I was like, I'm just going to use single pigment powder from here on out.
Right. Let's get rid of this metallic.
Right.
Let's not do this. So
the best part of that story, though, is the very next week, I had fans in the powder coating booth to help cool it off, and I got a cooler. Do you want to know why? Because Dan helped me put the 3rd layer of powder coat on your furniture. So thanks.
He's like, you know what this place really needs?
Some fans.
We
Right.
need some air movement in here. It's 400 degrees in this building.
So when was that? That was like 20
Early
2019
early 2021.
21.
Yeah.
I don't know time.
Yeah. No, I've never met him either.
2020. So you worked in there. I mean, here we're 2023. I
He
started
said
here.
21.
21.
I mean,
I
Not
said
to
every
be,
number. 21.
not to be
So-
too technical or
right.
anything, but
That's right.
So again, in addition to powder coating,
oh no.
in the beginning, you would go back and forth and do wet paint still, because
Yeah.
we had a few jobs that were bid and sold as wet paint jobs.
Mm-hmm. No, I don't think so. Hold on. Someone-
Okay.
No, I realized that I forgot my tea.
So you're still selling wet paint.
Still doing wet paint, and then like you said before, Zach, the old job stays the same, help out when needed, and then because of the high turnover rate in the ornamental shop, there had to be days where I had to go out in the field myself. So I would
So let's get this straight. Now you are pulling customers, unloading trucks, wet paint, and powder coating.
and powder coating,
Okay.
and when needed, going out with the installation foreman and putting it all together.
Okay.
In fact, one of the very first things that I powder coated successfully that was aluminum. I powder coated it, and one of our subs and I went out and put it up, all in the same day.
I like that.
Yeah.
We're going to try to do that tomorrow too. We're going to try to powder coat one and put it up same day.
Why not?
That's how we do it.
As soon as it's cool enough to touch it, it's ready.
That's right, baby.
All right. So we got all that going. Do you have any stories you'd like to tell about any of that? Let me tell a story. So one of my earliest memories of Donnie, well, an old memory. We were doing that bridge that went over the interstate.
Right. That's when I was still a yard helper, and I volunteered for the night crew to put that
Yep.
rail up.
Yep. So what we were doing, we would go out there and work through the night because we had to do like rolling roadblocks on the interstate and, shift traffic and all this kind of stuff so that we could weld above the interstate. And so I was out there with him, and I just remember being impressed by Donnie because he was like, all right, I don't know how to do it, but sure, I'll do it. No matter what you told him, it's like, hey, Donnie, can you do this? Yep. I don't know how, I don't know what it is, but I'll do it. I'll give it my best shot. And I mean, that mentality and that attitude is what's always stood out to me about Donnie, is just the willingness to do anything. And I mean, same with Kenny. Kenny is just has a lot of experience. And so he's kind of the one that's like deciding what needs to be done, or he is deciding what needs to be done in a lot of situations.
Correct.
So, that's really the difference. But, it runs in the family. Y'all are definitely ones to just jump in there and be down to do anything. So that was early on one of the things that I noticed about you, and I was like, I like that. I like that guy. So, all right, you're powder coating. So now what happens?
That goes on for almost 2.5 years in the powder coat booth. Yeah.
Okay.
Does that sound about right to you?
If it was early 2021 until
He's saying that's when I came into the picture with the tables, I think.
That was 2020.
2.5 years of trying to get those tables done.
It felt that
Yeah.
way until Dan showed up and set me straight. I mean, my fans, things move along a lot faster when it's cooler in there.
All right. So you powder coated for a couple of years, and then what?
Well, first off, in January, actually it was late December of last year. I found out Zach was coming back to take over the ornamental manager position, and I knew what he was about, and I was very excited that we would have somebody with his level of expertise come in and help us out.
Right.
Not just help out the people in the field, but help out with you in the office and everyone around him selling
yeah.
jobs.
Yeah, we were all excited. You kidding me?
I was very excited.
Yeah, we all are.
But the best part of the story
Still
is
It's all the newness is worn off. It's
right.
okay.
Right. We don't care anymore.
okay. And then not less than, I'd say, before the middle of February, I believe it was, Dan.
Mhm.
You called me and said, you said I need to
So-
talk to you in my office.
Tap you on the shoulder again.
Actually, phone call. I got a phone call for this one.
It was too hot in that building.
Right.
Even in the middle of February, it was still too hot.
Yeah.
So you called me to your office and we waited for 15 minutes for the predecessor who joined the meeting.
Yeah. And the whole time you thought you were about to get fired.
And the first thing she said was, "You're fired." That's exactly how. I said, "You didn't have to wait for her to
Like,
get here, Dan. You could have told me that."
She didn't even crack a smile, didn't say anything. She walked in, sat down, said, "You're fired."
No build up,
Oh,
no
gosh.
pretext, other than me sitting in a chair in Dan's office, waiting to find out what the meeting was going to be about.
So it was immediately followed with a hitting. And then
By you.
That will give me a heart attack.
yeah, for sure. Especially after sitting in there for 15 minutes, like, oh my
'Cause,
goodness,
like,
what's
you know,
going
it's
on?
Like, oh, I'm still getting fired for something I didn't do, or
Uh-huh.
do. We don't know.
Right.
I really had no, Dan didn't give me any pretext. I don't know if we were going to go over some things I have no idea what was going on.
Yeah. So then what?
You discussed with me how, I believe it was this 2021, after we finished that huge fire station, slowed down for a while and took the initiative to learn a little bit about wholesale, had some free time. And she was out, Felicia is her name, was training someone else in the office at the same time.
Mhm.
And you brought that up and was like, "I'd like you to move into the office and do this full time. And you're overwhelmed, and then I'm going to throw more work at you."
Mm-hmm. So that was pretty
That's
accurate,
pretty much,
right?
that is
And-
very accurate.
That's pretty much how it goes.
That's how it goes.
Sounds like my life.
Man, y'all are really painting a bad picture. Hopefully no
Laughing and we're here. I mean, what else could you? I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Where,
Yes.
where are? I mean, that's here we are. So you accepted for the job. I mean,
I
that's,
was offered a new
okay.
position.
Ooh,
I asked
yeah,
I only asked really two
I
questions.
thought I
after
was gonna get fired for a second. I was like, the anticipation is killing me.
I think I only asked
They
two
tapped me on the
questions.
shoulder and told me I was fired, and No, I'm
So
just kidding.
of
I'm just
all the
kidding.
times that you were you were offered, we'll say, another position, this was the most offering then, right? It sounds like.
Because there was a decision about it.
So it sounds like the previous two times, the offer for the job, the come and the training probably lasted the same length as the conversation with Felicia. It's kind of a joke.
Okay. I thought it was a real question, and I'm like, well,
No.
we were for 15, 20 minutes talking
Right,
about the
right,
offer.
right.
You waited 50. So like that's
30
35
whole-
minutes.
Get
Yeah.
The old offers were you should have been working by now. What
That's
do you-
right.
It's 30 minutes. What are you doing standing around here?
We've been done talking for
We got a
8
job
seconds.
to do.
Right.
Right.
Get to work.
Hey, and yeah, because it was always like, by the way, there's 7 truckloads of stuff that needs to be coded. So
Let's do it.
all right.
That's cool. Yeah. Kind of like what? Really?
So you came in the house, started training.
Yes, I would do my normal work day in the powder coating booth, helping out ornamental, still offloading trucks, still helping the yard foreman when he was on his lunch break. And so 3:30 every day.
Do you want a different job? Do you want another job?
So
You got some free time, man.
right. And then
I saw you come out of the bathroom a minute ago.
Poor
Looks like-
Donnie. You guys are mean.
Oh, you're eating lunch? Yeah, you have some extra time then, apparently.
Gosh, this sounds like a concentration camp or something.
no, it's not. No, it's not.
All right.
And then for the extra hour at the end of every day, Felicia would do some training.
Yep. So we did that because we knew Felicia was leaving, and it was. All right.
It's a little bathroom stall at the middle school.
You. I don't even know what we're saying.
I'm waiting for Dan to get a point. We can move forward.
Golly. All right. So we knew Felicia was leaving. Sorry, everyone. Zach showed me a drawing from the bathroom stall at the middle school. So we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean, imagination.
Yeah.
You can figure it out.
Yep. So we knew Felicia was leaving and started bringing Donnie in just a couple hours in the afternoons just to train him, till we found someone to fill the powder coat role, basically, is what was going on.
Yes.
And then, so Felicia left. We brought you into the office full time. You're no longer powder coating or painting. And I would say on occasion, you might go out and unload a truck or, grab some stuff for a customer. But
Yes.
for the most part, the other 2 jobs or the other 17 jobs are all behind you. Right.
There was about a month of a transition phase because the first person that we hired to replace me didn't work out.
And we've gone through a little.
We've had a few of those
in that.
Right.
And the ornamental shop still relies heavily on Donnie, no matter what.
Yep. So to this day, Donnie is involved in the ornamental operations. He helps Zach out a ton.
Right.
And so,
well, in addition to helping me with the stuff that I ask him to help with, it's like they can't get out of that. Like, no matter how much we've said, don't ask Donnie for these things.
Yeah. Right.
Which, whatever. That's
Right.
just, we kind of conceded to that's just how.
So what
it's
we
gonna
figured out
be.
is people go to the person that gets it done. I don't know what that means about anybody else, but people ask for things from the people that produce results, we'll say.
I think there's also a certain level of familiarity having been in the shop with them, now transitioning to the blue shirt. I'm not just trying to BS my way through that. I'm not saying
there's a thing of like, oh, I know you're too busy, I'm not going to ask you.
Right.
Like, there's that whole thing too.
Right.
People will do that.
Oh, they say that to me. I'm sorry, I know you're busy, but
people spend 3 days trying to get the answer to a question that they could just ask, be like, oh, I didn't want to bother you, you're too busy.
Right.
But it's a real.
I'm guilty of that,
Yeah.
especially when Lynn when Lynn had the ornamental management position.
Right.
Oh, Lynn would probably be fun on here.
Oh, yeah. Let's do Lynn.
I would, because every time I came in the office, she was on the phone trying to sell fence or trying to
apologize for not having something done on time.
We all go through that.
Yep.
We all go through that. I know Zach deals with it. I know Randy deals with it.
I don't tell him
other fence companies deal with it.
I'm not kidding. I mean, I do my best to not give them a specific deadline. And
No. I always work in ranges
until the project is complete. Because how many times have I said, "Oh well, in 2 weeks we'll be there," and I don't have the gate coded?
We'll have it done in the second half of this year. I like to give that kind of range,
We could go by quarter.
Yeah, right.
Break it down instead of twice a year.
Yeah. No. Now we're going into quarters. Well, that's a little tight. Now we're only talking. That's that's so 12 weeks. Whew.
Gosh, we're really beating ourselves up in this episode.
No,
we
you
are actually professionals, and we don't operate the way that it seems, probably. So
I would like to go back to the comments about.
This is your show. I'm sorry.
I would like to go back to how we've repeatedly said how I kept continuing to do the old jobs,
right,
and all that stuff. Most of it had to do with people needed help, and I wasn't busy, and I was always willing to do something that wasn't my job.
It's that McKernan way, man.
Prime example, and I love this story because Felicia was very proud of me, and I wasn't quite sure why she was so happy about it, but we were doing a job about an hour from here down in Mississippi, some handrails at an elementary school. It took most of the shop to carry these things around and get them in place. And so we were all out in the field every day for about a week. The only day we got back before 3:30, Felicia asked me to grab a truck and go pick up some wood for a job that she needed. And I didn't hesitate. I said, just let me find the keys and give me the packing slip and I'll go get it for you.
Yeah.
And she was super excited and like leaped in the air. I've always wanted to ask her, how many people before me did you ask before I was the one that said yes?
So Donnie, do you understand why you're in the position that you're in yet?
As far
have
as
you
in this
noticed
chair,
a pattern?
I've been begging to be on the show since you started. That's that's why I'm in the position I'm in right now.
No. I'm talking about your job. Have you figured out the reason why you're in the role that you're in?
Yes, you did once tell me. I think you and Alyssa both did at the same time. your willingness to do things that are not your job is one of the main reasons why you're in this office.
So
now.
you've
think
heard
the
you've heard a
willing-
pattern throughout the course of this show of that.
I think the willingness to not designate it, that's not my job. You know what I'm saying?
Oh gosh, I despise when people say that crap.
There's only one person in the office I tell that to, and that's my brother, just to get his blood pressure up.
Yeah,
And I do it anyway.
should. It should get your blood pressure up. Like we're all a team. Don't tell me like that's not your
Right.
job. Get out of here. So
Donnie, you know Lynn's screensaver, what it says?
Are we allowed to say those words on the podcast?
it's marked explicit every time. So go for it.
I normally cuss, so you
It
can say-
literally, now Lynn left for a little while and Zach took over her job.
Mm.
Someone was able to convince her to come back and help us out.
All right. Yeah.
And her screensaver on her computer is the same as it was before.
Uh-huh. Where's the
Get-
drum roll?
wrong kind of drum roll.
Her screensaver literally says, "Get shit done."
And that's
Yeah.
what we've been saying Donnie does. So that's why Donnie's in the position Donnie's in. Donnie
Yep,
is
yep.
Mr. Get Shit Done.
He got a little hard time at the beginning because he messed up, but I mean, we all make mistakes, man. Everybody's going to. In fact, I try to make it pretty well common practice when I put somebody in a position. I say, you're gonna screw up. Like, get over that. I don't want you to. I don't condone it. Like, I'm not promoting that you do mess up, but you're going to. You know, we all do.
I don't remember that speech when I got the offer for the
No,
office.
no. It wasn't with you. It's been since then. It's new.
It's a new thing I'm working. I'm working on it.
Yeah,
I've been saying it to myself in the mirror.
I'm gonna do that next time. Actually.
I believe our executive producer just said that you did tell her that.
Yeah. See.
Yeah, he did.
See? And was I wrong?
No.
Okay. See? But it kind of like, let's just go ahead and label it.
right.
Yeah.
I
All right.
like that. I mean, that's kind of the spirit of the culture we're trying to cultivate here.
Right.
Cultivate culture. That sounds cool. Alliteration's cool, man.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what I've been dealing with today. You know, is there's some mistakes are made, and what we're doing here is we're not gonna try to beat the dead horse or publicly ridicule
Yeah. And
Or
people's
whatever.
immediate reaction is what?
anger and fear, embarrassment, all that to making a mistake. You mean? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then they want to start blaming stuff already.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Like, what? Calm down, man.
Let's
I'm not
fix
even
it,
like, you're
right?
not even in
So-
trouble. I'm not even mad. Just, you don't have to
I think.
blame
I mean,
somebody.
that's like one of the big stressors about this trade is the unknown, the unforeseeable, and those mistakes. You know what I mean?
I think it's because how we were raised.
Yeah.
And that like if you make a mistake, you're gonna get punished. So you think it's gonna hate.
No. That was my dog. The dog ate the homework. No,
Yes.
I did not do it.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
My son, when he was little, he'd come into the room and he'd say, "Nothing." Like completely unprovoked. Nothing. Like, yeah, you. Then what did you do?
Uh-huh.
Then who did it?
Right. All right. So next thing I want to hear, what was your background before you worked
Hold-
in the fence industry?
Can we? I'm gonna
Okay, Zach.
just a quick question. Quick thing I'd like to designate. Donnie's mood and attitude, or like the amount he laughs, is changed exponentially from going from powder coat to the office.
I never heard Donnie have the giggles until he was sitting in the office.
Right.
Yeah.
So also, it's crazy.
Hold
I
on,
just
where's
want to
the
observe,
laughter?
like,
Where's the laughter? Yeah.
that really, as Donnie's manager when he was in the powder coat booth, it was totally counterintuitive to bring him to the office for me. Like, I wouldn't have made that decision. And nothing against you. It just wouldn't have occurred to me to do that.
Mhm.
But is he so much better suited for his current role? Yes.
Isn't that weird?
It's crazy.
So we took someone. How do I say this without being offensive or anything else? Who, according to what Zach said,
Just
Okay. Yeah. I'll take it.
pass the
I'll take
buck.
didn't seem super
I've-
thrilled or super happy to be in the role they were
it.
in.
Maybe even underperforming. I don't know. We'll
That's
call
what I
it.
was going to
mean,
say. Possibly was not performing at a peak level. Oh,
That
that burn a little?
little bit.
Okay. But
It's fine.
Was that
tomorrow.
scorn or like what?
And we moved them from a powder coating position outside in the hot, dirty, nasty powder coat building into the office in the AC, gave him a job sitting at a desk, and they've basically like he's improved across the board, I would say. That's an interesting
Well,
thing.
I think we also, in the process of seeing him develop in the office, unearthed a skill set I didn't even know Donnie possessed.
Yeah.
Like the customer service. I mean, that may be frustrating, but Donnie's ability to navigate through a difficult customer and just clerical skills and stuff that, like, I didn't have any of that stuff when I was working over there in the ornamental shop.
Mhm.
So I wouldn't assume anybody over there has
Well,
that.
you know,
a
that's
lot of times,
I like that. I like bringing somebody that really doesn't have the skill set or the resume or anything and put them in a position and like help them develop and
Right.
grow and,
It's
be a
just-
part of that. That's cool.
So yeah, it's kind of, I guess,
Isn't there like a saying, people above profit or something?
I don't know
Is
it.
that a thing?
I don't know.
So,
But yeah, so I mean, I just didn't see Donnie as in a position in administration, and then now he is, and it's amazing. And
So Donnie, it may have stung a little bit. We put some ointment on right after.
A little
right?
bit.
Okay.
well, it's like finding your calling or whatever,
Yeah.
however you want to label that.
One of the first things that
Maybe your
Alyssa-
position was underserving you. How about
That's right.
that?
well, it was like Dan said, it's hot in there. Even in the wintertime when it's below freezing, it is hot in there.
Mm.
There isn't not a lot of room for laughter when you're trying to get the next cup of water. But the fans did help.
Yeah, it's pretty tough in that building. I mean, you got a giant 450-degree oven in the middle of it, so I guess it's
Right.
pretty tough in there.
And I was one of the first statements that Alyssa made to me after I moved into the office within the first week. I didn't even know you smiled. And she
Oh,
was
wow.
she was very serious about it and was like, I didn't know you smiled.
Yeah, now Donnie's pretty giggly.
It's fun, man. He's a
times.
good addition to the office.
I
Okay,
agree.
let's get out of the mushy shit.
Now
Yeah.
Donnie's unicorn.
Let's talk
sunshine,
about
and
fence
rainbow.
and
That's right.
Wait. All right. What?
You haven't heard this yet?
Yeah.
I'll let him
that's-
tell him.
That's how Donnie defined himself now. Unicorn, sunshine, and rainbow. Every
Yeah.
morning.
That is a true statement.
Also, Donnie answers the phone and says, "I am Memphis."
that
Fence."
happened one time,
But
and
Donnie
you'll
is
never let me
Memphis
live
Fence.
it down.
Hello, I am Memphis. Fence.
right. I am Memphis Fence.
I came from the hotness.
That's right.
I know that sounds a little weird.
No one would have ever known if Alaria hadn't heard me say it, but she just happened to be in the office that
Yeah,
day.
and I'm so glad. All right, so I'd like to. We've done a few of these, like meet the team thing. I'd like to do something a little different this time. I want to hear a day in the life of Donnie. So walk us through the course of your typical day. What all do you do?
I usually arrive here about 30 to 45 minutes before work starts. I like to avoid all the lights on the way here. And the
Yeah.
best way to do that is do it when there's less traffic.
Mm-hmm. What's your typical speed when you're driving here, Donnie?
The speed limit.
And and not 1/10 over.
Correct. And
Okay.
everyone who works here and lives in Tipton County knows it because every single last one of them has passed me at least once,
Okay, all right.
including your father-in-law,
Yeah,
who is older.
right. He's got some wisdom.
So first thing, head over to Ornamental Iron and sit down for the morning meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, how I see my role is to assist the guys that are in the powder coating booth.
Mhm.
Because like we've already discussed, there's been some turnover since I left.
Right.
We've turned that job over 2 or 3 times, if I'm not mistaken. And just listen to what they need.
Mm-hmm.
And then go back to the office and start answering the phone.
And you got an earful this morning, didn't you? We don't have to unpack that too much.
We're not
but
going to
just-
back it too much, but I literally said 2 sentences that entire time, and both of them were directed at the powder coat booth foreman.
Mm.
Donnie got an earful this morning.
It happens like that sometimes.
So you're hit the morning meeting, deal with the powder coat
Coating booth.
people, couple cigarettes.
At least 2.
Right.
And sit at
Back
my
to
desk.
back.
And sit at my desk and start going through my emails, answering the phone, directing phone calls. Try not to tell everyone that I am Memphis Fence because they're one time's enough. And And try to sell wholesale material to customers I get contacts and leads through email, the website, mostly phone calls. We do have accounts with some local businesses here that order all their fencing material from us. So that helps.
Should I seize that opportunity?
Donnie just told him we sell material. We all local fence people and people within driving distance.
What kind of material?
Fence material.
Okay.
We're one of the few places that I know of in the Mid-South where you can get 18-inch razor ribbon. You can walk in, order it, pick it up, and if you order it in a large quantity, we'll load you up.
Donnie might do it personally.
That's right. So come on by, see Donnie.
You're going to see me regardless. I'm the first person you see when you walk in the door.
Right.
Or you might see Ilaria.
Hilaria.
There's a chance I might be there.
Yeah.
She's not going to look up because she always has her headsets in.
Yeah. She's over here just on her computer.
Looks like me.
Donnie does a lot of, you answer the phones, you field a lot of phone calls. You're pretty quick on the draw. Maybe I'm just really
Grabbing
slow.
that phone. Yeah. It's got to ring at least 18 times before Zach notices.
It's nobody else going to get this.
If Dan answers the phone before you, there
We're
might be
in
a
trouble.
problem. Yes.
I
But
guess
that
if he
hasn't
starts
happened yet.
having to answer the phone, then I'll really have to step up my game.
So, and then I'm just like before, I have no problem taking things off somebody's plate. And I do it every day.
Which that
I
was
was
kinda-
wondering what happened to my lunch today.
I did not take,
But that was, again,
nobody was taking your
with
rice.
this new position, that was the thing that was discussed with some slight administrative stuff. The help to me
Yep.
was part of the deal,
Yep.
which he does a lot. Donnie does locates for me, kind of keeps up with locates. There's some ordering, well, anything from Amazon. We order from Amazon.
Donnie is the Amazon aficionado.
Right.
The official title is Amazon Purchasing Manager. And we don't know. All I can tell you about how that title came to be, somebody called, used that title, and
Oh,
had
right.
my name.
The
So
salesperson.
Alyssa had no problem transferring that call.
Oh, that's so good.
Wait,
Amazon.
someone called and asked for the Amazon purchasing manager?
And used my name. We're looking for Donnie,
Oh,
the
we
Amazon
we
Purchasing
know
Manager.
exactly who that is. Hold on
Hold
one
on.
second.
And
Right.
the response was, we give the people what they need. That's why the call was transferred so quickly.
I
All
didn't
in
know
the
that
name of
actually, I never knew that story.
All in the name
Yes,
of good
that's-
customer service.
That is a true story.
Or good vendor service.
Right,
Good
whatever it
salesperson
is,
service. Yeah.
Oh man.
All
I
right.
also do
that's good.
one of the first things that Dan loaded up on my plate after I got a handle on doing wholesale
So
was chasing
that was
people,
like after lunch.
pretty much
Yeah.
on the second day.
Is it today's your first day? Let me introduce you to some more job
Yeah.
responsibilities.
Yeah.
Going
I like
through and calling customers and asking them when they're going to pay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Woo.
Past due invoices is still something I do now.
Yeah.
And now that Lynn's back, it's more of a hand in hand type deal. But
Can we hear your scary voice for when you call him?
the next time we come to your house, it's only going to be to receive payment,
Oh.
which I have said to a residential customer that was in the rears. Yes.
Mm. Are you going to touch that or?
I don't know.
Okay. Okay. So, all right. What all do you sell? I think, I don't know. So there's a lot of local people around here that listen. So maybe tell them what we sell. What do we sell, Donnie?
Mostly chain link material.
Yeah.
That's what we have in stock. A lot of it's chain link material.
Yeah. We don't have much wood since we don't really do wood.
Right.
We,
We have a lot currently right now. I have plenty of 2 foot or $2 8-foot boards that need to go.
yeah. So what he's
Before they-
talking about, we sell like the drop or the coal boards. You know, maybe they got a split in them or they were nailed and we had to take them down or they just don't meet our standards or something like that. And we'll sell them a couple bucks a piece.
Correct.
So you got a lot.
Yes.
How many?
Over 300.
Oh, you got a decent bit out there. So somebody come buy them.
You got hinges, you have latches, you
Oh.
have a bunch of commercial grade wire
Yes.
and pipe in stock. You got everything full length. We cut some stuff to length, right?
The only thing we don't cut to length is top rail. That is
Okay.
sold by the stick.
Yeah.
So-
So we got everything.
A lot of stuff's pre-cut. You also do a little bit of fab work for chain link side, you can sell gates. You
Right.
get gate dimensions. Y'all build and sell gates. You also can do like plated posts if somebody needs something like that,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And then he
Dan
also
has an interesting story about the first plated post job I sold.
Thank you.
Donnie also sells a little bit of carbon steel material. Some of my backstock from the ornamental side, we have 3/4 picket, we have 1x1 square tube, 2x1
Mhm.
channel, post material. We do have, don't you have some like prefab panels that kind of straggling around back there, and some kind of leftover ornamental iron stuff? Any of that stuff is Donnie.
Yeah, we have the whole boneyard, and we
Yes.
also sell stuff we take down, gates and
Right.
some,
We resell them as used.
some chain link stuff
Right.
and all that. So
But the big thing is if you have a fencing project and it's a commercial chain link or residential chain link, most
what
likely
kind of project?
If you need to sword fight, is that what you said?
a fence project.
Okay,
thanks.
Dan doesn't like
I thought
the
we were gonna
ing
get-
on the
Ooh, yeah.
on the end of it.
No.
He doesn't like it. I know.
Okay.
So we have just about everything you're looking for those types of projects.
Yeah. So if you're a local guy, need
Effie.
some commercial stuff,
I would
check us out. If you're buying some residential chain link, even what I've found is that our wire is more expensive than the box store. But if you buy like a complete package from us versus the box store, our complete package is cheaper.
It's cheaper.
So their wire seems to be their loss leader, and they put pretty significant markups on everything else. It's
Correct.
from my experience.
Cool.
And we do offer residential top rail at 10 foot 6 inches.
Yay.
We're one of the few places I know that offer that.
Yay. So we have 21s and 10.6s. Look at us.
Yes.
Man, we're all professional. All right. So what do you sell the most of? Chain link, obviously. What do you think we could sell more of, Donnie?
I would really love to sell that leftover 6-gauge wire at the bottom of the hill.
Ooh, what you got?
I've got 8 foot 6-gauge wire on this yard.
And it's actually 2-ounce wire too.
Correct.
Yeah.
And
Huh.
we have a lot of it.
How much?
Over 22 rolls. I believe they're 25 foot. These rolls are 25 foot because of the thickness of the wire.
Mm-hmm. So you got a decent bit. You got a little pile down there.
That's what I'd really like to sell.
Yeah. All right. What do you think we should do different in our wholesale world?
Train another person so I can take my lunch break. If you're asking me how to improve,
Yeah,
it,
when they come during lunch, we just entertain them until Donnie gets back.
All right.
We're just like, hey,
Or we-
how's it? Just stall them.
Or we-
Donnie's on lunch.
Or we just ignore them. Be like, hey, Donnie will be with you here in just a minute. Hold on.
I'm gonna go sit back at my desk and pretend to. That is, I'm in the process of doing that. Both Michael, the new hire for the commercial bidding, and Lynn are both at some point going to be trained up.
Yeah. So if you need something, you can call Donnie, Michael, Lynn. If all three of them are unavailable, then you can talk to Alyssa. If Alyssa's not here, then yeah, good idea, Zach. You can talk to Zach. And if he's not here, then you can talk to me. Just kidding.
If
just
Dan
kidding.
is available and not busy, he will be more than happy to help you if you come walk in the door.
Yeah, especially if you got some money.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to hear what he's got to say about me. In the ornamental world, improvements.
Ooh, what should Zach do?
Better be careful, Donnie.
Better be careful.
Hey, remember that
After
that
this morning,
sting-
I got plenty of ideas from this morning's meeting.
remember that
so-
sting like 15 minutes ago, Donnie?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to remind you.
here's your opportunity to get me back.
Is that the next question?
yeah. What you got?
The next question is:
I
what do
believe-
you think we could do to improve our processes, or how do you think we could improve the ornamental world as a whole?
Ready, go.
Action.
Action.
And take it away.
I think I didn't get long to think about this question, but here is what I came up with.
Why?
And-
You've only got 8 jobs. What are you doing?
Oh, the phone's ringing.
Exactly. To reduce the turnover. In the 2.5 years I spent
all
either in the
right. Whoa.
Wait.
Hold the phone, sir.
can you at least let me finish? before.
I hope
I want-
the rest of this statement includes a way to reduce the turnover.
Yes, he knows.
Okay,
I
so
understand that.
Let's go.
Yelled and jumped up and down. If you give me a problem, give me a solution.
Okay,
So-
okay. Sorry, I jumped the gun.
In the short, I believe it's a short time because my brother's been here almost 18 years now. So my 3 years is a fraction of that. In the 2.5 years I spent on the ornamental side, had 3 different shop foremen come through with 3 different ways that they wanted to do things. And in the same token, Zach is the 4th person to have the title that he has now.
Okay, so
Wait, Dan, can I finish, please?
This Donnie
You
show.
did
This is
declare this
Donnie.
is my show.
This is a day in the life of Donnie.
Yeah.
Now,
I just put my mic over there.
Good.
one of these issues has already been resolved, and it was resolved back in late December when Zach accepted your offer, came back, stabilized the position that he's in now.
Right.
That's problem solved right there. Try to find ways to incentivize people to stay, who want to work, who want to learn, who can listen to what Andreas and Zach have been preaching since Zach came back. This is a fabricating trade. You can make real good money, provide for yourself and your family if you commit to learning this and doing the work.
It is a craft.
It is a
It's
craft.
skill.
It is a skill set that translates not just to fence but to other jobs.
Sure. So,
But I think that
what?
Go ahead.
In addition, so one thing that I've tried to implement is better wages or increasing our wages. Right.
Oh, you taking credit for that? All right. Yeah.
One thing that we
Okay.
have discussed at great
We.
length and have implemented. I don't sign the check. So even if I extend the offer, it's still you implementing.
Well, I
it,
think a
just
we is a fair.
Okay,
statement.
sorry. My apologies.
Okay.
I apologize. My dad and uncle are fighting again.
I didn't mean I just mean one thing that is being done that we are doing is paying better. So what in addition to that, I mean, you see me regularly extend to them if you need anything, if the conditions are, I mean, one of the first things that I did was nod Dan to like, let's update the bathrooms, so that's
And
one thing
They're done.
they are.
Yes, all 3 of them.
3 bathrooms,
There's
freshly renovated.
So
6 months out of the powder coating booth, now it has a bathroom.
So that's, wages, a better work environment, even just starting with the bathroom, I think designates that this is something that's important to me.
So we're
you know?
doing it.
We are.
But
So-
my request to everyone is just remember money is finite and things take time.
So
But we are
I'm just
making
curious
progress.
to hear from
Yes.
Donnie's perspective, having been in the shop and kind of a go-between, so to
Mhm.
speak, an intercessory, if you will. It might sound too religious or something, but
I think you're fine.
but as intercessory, what would you say these like to incentivize that? How do I do that?
Most of the programs are in place. We have a 401k plan here. We have medical insurance here. We offer uniforms after you've been here 90 days, so you don't have to get your own clothes dirty.
Right.
We provide aprons. We provide all the safety equipment required.
And ultimately, if you don't have it, it's because you didn't ask.
Correct.
I mean, and I do my best to take note and notice, but again, I'll spend a lot of time in the office doing what's required over there. So that we're back to this. This conversation occurs every single show. How do we get good people? How do we keep good people? And looking at what we need to do to facilitate the culture, raise the culture, all that.
So what's the incentive if we already have it?
I think,
What
quite
else
honestly,
we
people,
got?
that's what we got going for us that we didn't have when I first started here. Everything I just listed was not available except for the I apologize. I'm incorrect. The uniforms were available.
I think
when I first started.
I think we address a lot of that in that Cash is King episode. No, the banker episode maybe the banker episode or one of the intros or something.
I mean,
Kind of. talked about how we cut all the benefits and then we've kind of
Oh
brought
yeah, we
stuff
did talk
back
about
on.
that. We
Yeah.
did talk about that.
And one thing that Zach is keeps saying, and I'm going to try to put it in my own terms, a clear line of communication between Zach and everyone else,
Mhm.
which he continuously tells them, I'm here, I'm available, you have my cell phone number.
Mhm.
Clear lines of communication, knowing what the right questions are to ask.
Right, right. Well, and we've designated this kind of that one you're too busy, which to me kind of seems like it surrounds or stems from or it's related to maybe a lack of trust. You know,
Yeah, but I think people like just like they just decide that. I don't think it's like I came to you and asked you to do something and you said, "Oh, I'm too busy, leave me alone."
right?
Right? I think people are just like, "Oh, he
So one of
looks
the-
busy, so I'm going to go ask someone else."
One
you
of the
know?
sources of increasing or generating, increasing, cultivating positive work culture was for the people in management to work alongside the laborers periodically to kind of instill that sense of trust that they can come to rely on me in a time of need, because in that time of just spent working together, they see that I'm part of the team.
So let me play devil's advocate.
Sure.
Do you think there's any chance that if I show up and sit beside you and do your job, that's just me saying, "Remember,
You're
I
not-
can do your job."
You're not doing a good enough job.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure. And I think it's a pretty delicate line to walk,
It
and
is.
so it's important that when I go in, I designate, I'm not here to bird dog you guys. I just want to come over and be useful.
Right.
Is there
So
anything I can do for y'all? Let
that's
me
a-
know if there's something I can do,
That's an interesting thought.
I definitely don't push them out of the way and say, here's how
No,
you
let
do
me
it.
show you how to do it.
Right. No,
Yeah.
don't do that. I think and a lot of that skill set
I
is
think I did that to Ilaria today.
Yeah.
Actually.
It happens.
She's got a big smile on her face. I'm going to
Well,
assume
it
that
was-
is probably true.
I don't know if it was completely like that, but maybe kind of. If it was, I apologize.
No, it wasn't like that.
Okay.
So any other insight? Like today, for instance, the chaos that I don't think that can be prevented. I think ultimately we can do what we can do to the best of our ability to try to cultivate all of the things that we've been saying. But at the end of the day, or at the beginning of the day, in this case, there still are personalities,
Right.
right? And we're not all closed mouth, super quiet people. And, none of us in
Yeah.
the office, Dan, opinionated, pretty open about I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying,
Right.
we all are pretty open about what we think, and when people are stressed, you hear it.
Kind of goes back to that thing we talked about last week of like the
Banter
banter
and-
and
right.
all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
And so I think a big thing of what went on this morning was somebody was a little bit overly critical of someone else, and they got their whether their feelings hurt or they became in fear of their position at the company, or loss of wages or whatever they thought, and it just kind of got blown out of proportion.
I think there's
basically.
some times here that people catch a hard time
right,
over mistakes.
right,
Remember the hokey pokey,
right.
right? I mean, we've established that we all screw up.
Sure.
It's going to happen.
Sure.
And I personally still think that the best approach is here's the mistake that led us to here. How are we going to prevent that? Well, first, what do we do now?
Right.
And then how are we going to prevent this mistake again? That's the thing. And as long as you have somebody that has the right mentality, the right mindset, and wants to do better, that I feel like people are receptive of that.
I think basically this morning that we have a new guy training. This is his first week fabricating. This is the first drive gate he's ever built. And basically he screwed up. It wasn't even that big of a deal. And everybody came by and were like, haha, you screwed up. Haha, you screwed up. Haha, you screwed up.
Where was everyone else while he was screwing up would be the question.
Right.
He
that
was
point I
not in
made.
the shop alone. There
Right.
were other
that
people
was the
in
point
there.
that I made was dude, how many of these people do you see in here working daily? None. So the only people whose opinions of this matter is me, your lead, and you.
Right.
That's as far as this goes.
Right.
So I was like, dude, that is nothing. I've done that 100,000 times. Now we'll show you how to fix it.
Right.
And it's easy.
It's fixed. Now you know what to do next time. And hopefully you don't screw it up
Donnie.
again.
Sorry for going on.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
I was just
This was Donnie's show.
Right. In the context of Donnie's observance of problems and improvements, I thought that was a good thing to denote that there are some areas that we just don't have control. I don't have control over the other people over there and how they're going to address this guy's screw up.
Yep.
I don't have control of it.
Yeah.
You know?
And we just do the
And
best
you don't
we
have
can.
any control of how he's going to react to
Right. Exactly.
to how
So
the question
as
is even asked
As
of
nice
him.
of a guy as I can be, and as much as you can extend yourself to be available to them, you can't prevent some of these things.
So let's see. Last night, my kid was on the phone with my brother on FaceTime, and he walked into his room. And so Sophie, our little daughter, was following him, and he just shut the door, and she came unglued, like freaked out because he shut the door. Humans don't always get along.
That's right.
Right.
That's what I said.
You know, no matter.
Personalities, man.
And like our kids are like very kind natured people. I think they're not mean to each other or anything. She's pretty attitudey, but like they're not really mean to each other, you know. And even like that, there's still times where people just clash. And I mean, it displayed itself last night in our
Sure.
2 children, and this morning in some adults.
Right. I've been walking through that with my 13-year-old and just like, dude, you're gonna experience, I call it contrast. I like to not, it's negative feeling, but it doesn't have to be a big deal.
Doesn't have to be. We're
Right.
all
So
different
I
people.
like to call it contrast because that's kind of it's not a collision. It's not the end of the world. It's not, I don't talk to you for the next 2 weeks. It's just people just gonna rub up against each other sometimes.
Yep. All right, Donnie, you got any more suggestions?
That was the gist of it. I mean, clear lines of communication. My time in the Navy taught me one thing: when an operation goes wrong, the thing that gets brought up is the reason why it didn't work. Lack of communication
or training
Open-
deficiencies.
Training deficiencies is the other one,
Yeah.
Right.
which are easily addressed because the scenario that Zach just described this morning was corrected probably 10 to 15 minutes after the meeting was over.
And it took 30 minutes of bickering about it to even get started on fixing it.
Which
Isn't that weird?
Zach actually missed the first 10 minutes of it.
Yeah, I
So it was
missed all
all
that.
directed
I
at
just
me.
came in and yelled at him. Like, we're gonna quit all this complaining and go and that. We're
Yeah.
not doing that.
Right. That's not productive. All right. So communication. What is that like? Where are we falling short in communication? Where could we make improvements?
Thank you.
It's a tough one.
Mm.
I think it's already happening. I honestly believe that is already happening. Everybody knows who the boss is.
Every suggestion you have, we've already fixed. You got any new ones?
No, I'm just saying I believe it's already happening. But
Yeah.
I believe what one of the issues is, and it's all based on trial and error, and I'm learning a lot of this in the office, is what questions to ask.
Mm.
If I know I might not have all the answers, I definitely don't. But if I know what the right questions are, I can find the answers
Right.
that I need. And I think the same can be said of what's going on in the shop, what's going out on the field. Here's an example. There is a clear line of communication between the ornamental manager, Mr. Zach Shue, and his installation foreman. They talk every afternoon and talk about the issues they had during the day. And there's already a plan moving into the next day. That happens all the time.
Shout out to Miguel.
Yes. And it's the truth. And if we could
So-
get that same open line of communication with the shop,
Sure.
you're going to see a vast improvement on everything.
So that's the idea behind. Yeah. The idea behind the like morning meeting deal is to, kind of facilitate that open line of communication. Yeah. An hour and 8 minutes. You falling asleep now? Are you crashing?
The entire shop, 3:30, they're gone.
Yeah.
No matter what time Miguel gets back, as long as it's not too late, he takes the time to walk over to Zach's desk and talk about the day and talk about the plan for the next day.
Right. That definitely wasn't, we didn't start like that,
Mm,
actually.
yeah.
It just kind of, and
I-
it
I'm
kind of
aware.
like organically started,
Yeah.
I don't know who initiated it, but it just kind of started happening.
Mm.
And I think part of that was me, like I say, working with him, going to do things with him, helping him get loaded in the morning, and just kind of inserting myself into his process.
How's the checklist?
We're not using it.
No.
They don't need it anymore.
Yeah.
They really don't.
We're going over it the night before.
Yeah.
So,
So the checklist was basically here's a checklist of all the things we need to take with us today.
right. Because
So-
a lot of things we were forgetting some stuff and getting on the job site and having to run out little silly things. And I think that, seemed to help.
Right.
So.
Right. All right. What do you think? Let's wrap it up.
Yeah, man. Donnie, do you have anything you want to add or any kind of, what do you think about the podcast? I mean,
you
you were a
think?
little nervous, but it seemed like
At
you
first, before I sat down, but once I sat down, put the headset on, it all came natural.
would,
Yeah.
yeah, you're doing a good job, man.
Yeah.
Yay, Donnie. That's cool.
It's
Thank
been
you.
fun, man.
I'm having a good time too, man. I think that's sadly to say, whenever we have a member of the team, it's always the funnest.
Yeah.
We
enjoy it the most. I don't know if
right.
Listeners may or may not
I wanna
enjoy it,
listen
but
to us do basically what we do all day during the day.
well, I mean, what's funny about that is there's like whole YouTube channels that are just people recording what they do at work.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I guess that's what we do.
Yeah. So, I mean, here we are once a month making a show that's kind of like that. But I do think it's good because we really don't take the time out of our day to sit and have conversations like this. Right.
But we don't actually have time.
Yeah.
I just explained how everything that I do. So times 2 or 3 for Zach.
So I think this is an
And
interesting.
Dan's door is always closed.
It may like spill out as
Right.
we're passing each other in between doing what we're doing at our desk. It's like,
My door was closed once today, but I think it's because you came and slammed it shut when we were laughing. Actually,
you're laughing too hard.
Me and Zach were trying to get work done and keep the lights on, Dan.
You
We
know
didn't
how-
have time to listen to you and
So
laugh
it's
all day.
okay to listen to Donnie laugh all day, but if someone else laughs, door slamming ensues.
What do we want to hear? What do we want to tell? What do we want to close with? I mean, I really appreciate anybody who's ever watched the PowerHouse Fence show episode.
Almost
Especially-
400 people.
We love feedback. We would love
Just on the
anybody
podcast,
to
right?
comment, call in.
Yeah, so we're probably pushing 1,000 between YouTube and the podcast.
Yeah.
That's
So
good.
I personally appreciate that. This I didn't know that I was gonna do this or like this, and now I've been doing it for a while. So it's pretty cool to have some participation from our viewers. And if you want, like we mentioned, if you think you might want to be a guest on the show, that'd be cool. If you don't necessarily have to be in the fence industry. At this point, we're kind of like open to whatever.
Yeah, so we have a couple of guests lined up that are fence people.
Right.
So 2 fence folks that are lined up. Felicia actually is going to be one of our guests, and so we're going to talk to her a while. And
I have a lot of questions for her.
yeah. So we got Felicia coming on. We got
That's cool.
We've got at least one person who's a
Uh,
Simpalo subscriber.
Alyssa suggested earlier that she have us on the show.
Yeah, Alyssa wants to interview us. So that we're going to be the guest and she's going to be the host.
At the same time, or are we going to do this
Yeah.
individually?
When
No,
I
no,
put
no.
it like that,
Both
I'm
of
like,
us.
you're gonna have us on the show.
Uh-huh. Right.
I think it'll be cool though.
Yeah, so we got the fence dude coming. We got Felicia, the fence gal coming.
Right.
We got some other guests lined up. So anybody who wants to be on, let us know.
I like having Brian on the show. That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's cool.
It'll be probably December.
Yeah, so call in, keep watching, comment, please. If you comment during the show while we're talking, if you interrupt, whatever, we're reading these things. So we'll gladly pay attention to you, interact with you. We can kind of have you as a satellite guest via the comment section or
Yeah.
whatever,
I mean, I got a little invite button right here. I'll put you in the show. I don't
Cool. I'm down. Also, suggestions for topics. What do y'all want to know? You want to ask us questions about what we do outside of this or whatever? I mean, we have
I'm
done
over here
both.
like about to fall asleep in this chair or something.
We've
What's
both
wrong with me.
We've both done a little bit of our backstory in other episodes, but if you want to revisit some topics from previous episodes, I mean, whatever, we're down. So again, thank you guys for watching. Donnie, I really appreciate not just you being on the show, but what you bring to the office, the giggles, the laughter, the willingness to help is
The door
super
slamming.
awesome. I
Yeah.
have a little sign outside my desk that says, I'm enjoying working here. Please remind me of this or something like that. And that's true. And it's because of, Donnie is a big part of that. We
Yeah.
really work closely together. And so, having someone to count on who also has a pretty good sense of humor is fun, man.
And we have fun.
We do.
I think everybody here, has fun.
I think we asked the question about professionality last week of ourselves. And I think over the course of this week, we've settled that we're pretty okay with the way things are.
Yeah.
Like we don't need to tighten it up.
I think we're good.
Right.
And I mean, honestly, there's been a couple people come through the office that just didn't like that environment. So,
Dude, I think
Are you-
everyone
are
we
you-
got right now is like is in,
Yeah.
we're in there. So
Mhm.
that's cool, man. I'm enjoying it.
yeah, for sure.
Everybody's high energy, willing to learn new things.
Yeah.
And work
Yeah.
together. I mean, if you at the core, that's what this is.
I think it's taken a long time, but man, I feel like we've got a pretty good team of people in the office.
We are the
And
worst at goodbyes.
I know. It's like we're signing off, but we're going to
But I
talk
don't want to
another
say
15
goodbye
minutes.
to you guys.
3 days
Y'all
later.
can leave. I
Yeah.
will just continue to say goodbye. Well, Cannon had some real cool thing he said at the end of the show. Like, I don't know. I think I did something like that. I want to do like a closing statement, but I think just if I can express gratitude for anybody who's been a willing participant of this journey, that's
I mean,
pretty
I-
much it for me.
You mean like your journey or like the show's journey?
The show.
yeah,
yeah.
man. I'm grateful for anybody that listens.
Sure.
Like, that's cool. Nobody has to listen, you know?
Yeah, it's awesome.
I mean,
man.
we're just some dudes sitting here chatting and people listen. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, so much like any kind of performance art you see, like with this is potentially driven by the idea that people want to be a part of this, listen, watch, be on the show, comment, yada
Maybe,
yada. So
maybe, I mean, I don't know that anybody's going to learn too much from us, but like maybe it'll spark some ideas in them. Lori's over here smacking her head on their microphone. Like, end it.
I'm gonna close this thing. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you all for being a part of this. Comment, call, blah blah blah. All those things I asked you to do previously. Give us some show topics. Thanks again from PowerHouse to you guys, our PowerHousers.
My turn. Bye.